Hey y'all, so we talked about Gazelle and Hindz breakup, and I told y'all I was coming back so that we could talk about Gazelle's healing. But I took a little minute because I wanted to get this whole little setup together for you guys so that we could watch this together. Okay, I really want to watch together because the big question is, while Gazelle has had her foot on Homeboy's neck, and I love it. I love it because I wish I would speak out a whole lot more, y'all. But part of the reason I don't is because your girl can get ghetto with it. So that being said, I wanted to watch this together so that we can decide. And I want your opinions in a comment when we finish. Is Gazelle healing gracefully or not? Or not? Plus, also, I kind of wanted y'all to get a take of what healing is like, let's say, healing heartbreak after healing. And the reason I say that is because it's been known that she's done the work. She's done the work. And like I told you before, all the girlies was in a little bit of a frenzy because it's like, oh my God, Gazelle did the work. We doing the work, but look what Gazelle ended up in. And the reality is, yes, doing the work is going to give you a different level of discernment, right? So you will avoid some things. But it's no guarantee that you're still not going to come across or fall prey to a narc or a abusive man or, you know, a fuckboy who wants a situationship, right? That being said, the bigger part of healing is how you're able to process and handle the outcome, how you're able to heal through it. Like I said, this is, as you see, it's about 1 month um candid reflection of her healing, right? However, it takes some of y'all much longer. And your average woman will probably go back a few more times after this. So let's get into it, you guys. I'm done. I'm done with my shit. Let's get into it.
Don't let your hair get in the way. Can't be defined by your mistakes. You know you try really hard.
Hey, quick disclaimer. This is my first time doing a reaction video, so there are a few glitchy spots, but we should be good, y'all. It's not many. I hope you enjoy.
That's not what I meant. What I meant was like, yeah, I mean, I'm confused myself. Like,
What better place to have a mental breakdown than on the bathroom floor in the middle of the night? I've just been
What was a little shocking about this scene, you guys, is I knew the bathroom and like the closets to be a space for like abuse victims. It was a space for me. And I also know it to be a space for like kids who frequent abuse in their household. But the mere fact that he's not present is very interesting that the bathroom was her place to go.
find a remedy. I've just been trying to find a way to numb what I'm feeling, because if I feel it all the way right now, I will only spiral. My heart is familiar with this feeling. My heart just isn't.
My heart is familiar with this feeling, y'all. Who can relate? Who can relate? I know one thing, especially for abuse victims, it's almost like we have to condition ourselves to get comfortable with no chaos. We have to condition ourselves to get comfortable with the quietness because we're so used to the chaos. Like it become familiar to us. I remember when I first got into my abusive situation. I remember feeling like this just feels really awkward. It does not feel comfortable to me, and that was because like my father barely yelled at my mom. But his childhood was very much a different one. And so the chaos, the arguing, the toxicity was norm for him. It was not for me, but it slowly became my norm.
familiar with this type of ending because it just wasn't in the plan. Since it is an addiction, my brain is just going into survival mode and trying to find excuses and trying to grasp on every good feeling from the past that we experienced together. And I keep ruminating on what I could have done, what I could have said, how I could have shown up. And I just have to keep reminding myself that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You did your absolute best, and it doesn't matter. You will never be seen. You will never be fully loved unconditionally by this person. You will never get the closure you think can exist from this person. And you just have to learn how to let go. I've just been telling myself to accept that he cannot love you in the ways that you need to be loved. He cannot show up in the ways that you need him to show up. And this right now is standing proof. This is like, you cannot delude yourself any further into thinking this is a person for you. You can't. Look at
one of the things that I wanted to speak on, and I knew that I would recognize in this video, is the fact that Gazelle had did some healing before. So this isn't like that moment for her that pushed her into healing trajectory, right? That happens with a lot of us. It's like that one moment that it's like, okay, enough is enough. I'm going to go on this healing journey. When I spoke to you guys about her and Hindz breakup a month ago or so earlier, I spoke about how the girlies was in a bit of a frenzy, right? It was like, oh my God, Gazelle has done all this work, yet she still came across a toxic man. Here's the reality. Doing the work does not eliminate us from having any negative experiences, correct? My daughter want to talk. Yeah, it doesn't eliminate us from having those experiences. It does reduce them because our level of discernment changes, right? But predators are predators. And the reality is, if you're a healer or empath of some nature, you're going to attract and come across those predators. More times, often than not, we're going to catch it beforehand. But there are cases where we don't, right? They're really slick with it and we don't catch it. One thing for sure, though, is the healing after looks very, very different from those who have already done the work. So I think she might be like a week in here. And you notice that not only does she own and accept her feelings for what they are, right? Raw feelings, right? A lot of times we want to deny feelings. A lot of times we want to push it to the back, and it's not really healthy. But while you're also acknowledging your feelings, if you've educated yourself on narcissistic abuse or any abuse, physical, emotional, so on, then you will also recognize the facts of it all. So where in this moment, she's recognizing both, yeah, this is how I feel. She's also recognizing these are the facts of the situation. Whether I like it or not, these are the facts.
abruptly. So abruptly. Look at how he's doing you. And if somebody can go days, weeks, months without talking to you, knowing that you're in pain and not caring, that is not the person for you. That is not the person for you. And I have to keep reminding myself that every time I try and grab onto all of the good memories, all of those dopamine hits that I've just been addicted to this whole time, I have to remind myself it's not real. It's not real. It's not reality.
Okay, real quick. So she was speaking about the narcissistic discard, right? And I could tell you firsthand, it's a very shocking situation. You could think y'all are good in 1 minute, which you never was. I hate to tell you this. You were trying to fix something that you could never fix. But they tend to discard very quickly, very abruptly. And you're kind of left with like, what happened here? You knew what happened. We're often very delusional in accepting exactly what happened if you haven't done the work. But since Gazelle has done the work, she kind of understands exactly what happened. It doesn't feel good. It's not always answers to it. However, what I will say about narcissistic discard, at least in my situation, it is a blessing in disguise. A lot of times we are discarded much later than we should have probably walked away, right? The narcissists tend to do the work for us. If you truly understand that rejection is protection, then you understand that when a narc discards you, it's because you could not walk away. That being said, if you're also on a healing journey or you seek to go on a healing journey, this should be a time where you start to look inward. What made me the perfect target here and what made me stay? So, just to piggyback on that, I'm going to give you a few things that would make you a target for a narc, right? So, low self esteem, obviously, would be a target, would make you a target for an arc. And you may be walking through this world thinking you do not have any low self esteem. But I can tell you, if you have experienced DV in any manner and you have not been intentional about your healing, you indeed reek low self esteem. And it's not because you, in particular, do not believe you're worth anything, but because you have been conditioned for months or years, you've heard the repetitive things being said to you over and over and over. It seeps into your spirit and soul. You have to undo that work as many times as it's been told to you. Being codependent. A lot of codependency come from some unhealed wounds in your childhood. You need to do a little bit of inner child work and figure out what's going there on there to heal that, because that makes you a target as well. High levels of empathy. You guys, I was terrible with this. Terrible with this until I recognized exactly what it was. So again, this is why I say educate yourself. I know I'm an empath. I know I'm going to look at somebody and have some form of sympathy for them in their situation. However, through my healing, I realized that I am not obligated to give anybody the benefit of a doubt. If it does not look right, it probably is not right. And I am sorry you went through that and are going through that. I do not want to introduce it into my life. Idealistic views of relationships. Simply put, if you are a woman who believes in love at first sight, the fairy tale, and so on, you're going to be a victim or you will be a target of narcissistic abuse. Fear of abandonment. If you have a hard time walking away, you're almost guaranteed to be a target for narcissistic abuse. If you have poor boundaries, poor personal boundaries, past trauma, naive or easily manipulated, you're going to be a target for narcissistic abuse. And I can tell you firsthand, majority of these I had to heal through. These traits are not to really blame the victim, but it is to kind of make you aware of things that you can work on in order not to be prey to these type of men.
A lot better because I decided to get cute.
Okay.
My makeup. I didn't really feel
Face,
I've been
y'all.
wanting to just put my hair away. But I'm in the phase where I'm kind of just psychoanalyzing everything from a more logical sense. That way I don't, trap myself in an emotion that I've already felt and already dealt with, so that I don't keep myself in this loop of like negative rumination. And, like if I'm going to ruminate, I'm going to be getting something out of it. And I'm going to be looking at it for the lesson and not for, the experience on the surface. And that also has helped me take a lot of that anger out of my heart, because I'm no longer looking at him as, someone in my life. I'm kind of just looking at him as like another subject in school. So yeah, it's been helpful. I think this is my normal process anyways. In the past, it's just taken way longer to get to this point. And it's only been like, I haven't talked to him in like 2 days. And like cried yesterday.
Okay, notice what she said, you guys. Normally, it would have taken her way longer. And normally it will take most women way longer. But once you've done the work and you're kind of educated on exactly what it is, again, once you step out of it and you're no longer in this situation, because it's so hard. It's so hard to see what's going on when you're in it. That's why you got your girlfriends looking at you like you're crazy. Like you back with that nigga? You still talking to him? Because they see what you don't see. You know what I'm saying?
This morning when I woke up, I was just angry. So I just started, reading, and I don't know, I also think I want to get back into the Bible. That's another
Wait, I had one more thing. Also, she's still talking to him. Listen, I'm a huge component of no contact. If you can, go no contact. In her case, she's still processing, right? And thankfully she's done the work. So it wasn't a situation where she was in a space where he can will her back in. Had she not done the work, she probably would have went back by now. I promise you, she probably would have went back by now. Um, so do the work, y'all. Do the work. Do the work. Do the work. But also, so like if you've been watching my vlogs and you see me doing me, right? If you think I haven't went through heartbreak in the last year or so, I hate to tell you, I have. The difference is I bounce back much differently than I had before. A lot of times these experiences for me, it's not about the heartbreak, it's about the lesson. So what did I learn in this situation? Even with dating, I'm learning so much more about myself because of how I'm dating, how I'm processing my experiences. I realized the quicker I get my ass back up and start focusing on me, the quicker my heart is going to heal.
Like a major epiphany that I had in a really funny way, a really unironic way. So yeah, I'm feeling better. I don't expect to feel like I'm at 100% anytime soon. Maybe, I don't know, but I'm already in a mindset of like figuring out what else I can do with my life now. You know, it's open.
About depersonalize the experience. And this is a healing hack I use often, right? You remove your personal feelings and personal connection from the person and what happened and how you feel and focus on the lesson, right? So think more of what do I need to learn from this than how do I feel about this?
My future is completely open. It's kind of like a blank slate now. And I feel like I can do whatever the fuck I want now. I can post whatever I want. I can say whatever I want. There is energy of judgment just dangling over me that like where I have to just like constantly, look over my shoulder and be like, am I doing it right? Am I, like I don't like that. I don't like that. I like being able to have my individuality and my freedom and being able to speak my mind without being punished or dismissed for it, and it feels really good to have that back. I didn't have that for so long. I was in mental isolation for so long.
Yeah, she said being punished or dismissed for. Can you imagine? You're trying to work on your craft and build your thing, and you have to worry about your significant other punishing you or dismissing you like you're a child. I'm not surprised about this though, because much like I told you guys with the B. Taylor and Priscilla, whatever that lady name is, story. These kind of relationships can be career suicide, right? You see it, you're like, oh, this person has an amazing platform. And I struggle with it right now, y'all, with dating, but this person has an amazing platform. They've built it up. I can learn from them. This will be a great partnership, only to find out that low key, they might be secretly jealous of you and don't want you to grow. They're literally they see your creativity and they see what value you can add to them, but they have no intention on adding value to you. As women, we're just naturally nurturers. We're never naturally want to pour into and help build up somebody else's situation, even when that person's situation is bigger than ours. Even though his platform is bigger, even though Priscilla's platform was bigger, you found B. Taylor and you also found Gazelle wanting to pour into and help their significant other. Meanwhile, their particular platform and their craft and their creativity is taking a hit. I knew when I first came across the story and I went and looked at his his YouTube, and I went to go look at her YouTube. Straight out the back, there's no way she's been with this man this long, and this man has not promoted her, has not helped her grow in any form. Like, what is going on here? What is going on here? I didn't necessarily, I didn't necessarily pinpoint that he was holding her back by way of critiquing her because I didn't know the degree of the narcissistic abuse in which she had experienced. But the first sign is the lack of support. We often don't ask for much, but a lack of support is a sign that this is not a place that I need to be. Period.
So yeah, I'm happy to make friends. I really want to go to Mexico for a month, maybe 2. And I think I'm going to solo travel and just, make friends, just be a fucking free bird. Be a free bird for so long. You know, I was in mental isolation for so long. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to make friends. I really want to go to Mexico for a month, maybe two. And I think I want to solo travel and just, you know, make friends all over the world and just be a fucking free bird. Be a free bird. And, you know, I'm not searching for love. It would be cool. It'd be cool. I'm open to it, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for friendship. I'm looking for depth, not just conversation, but depth. I'm looking for people who care about my soul, who care about my history, who I am, why I am the way I am, people who want to create with me. You know, that's what I'm looking for. And I'm not going to find that being sad and crying over a man that don't even want me or see me. I'm not spending another 5 years of my life. I did it for 7 years and I'm not doing that shit again.
Because in the past like 2 or so weeks, I have had, I think, 2 or 3 complete meals, which isn't a lot. I haven't been eating. I lost like 13 pounds now, I think. So you can see my bones. I mean, I've always been skinny, so it's just a lot more evident now. But I just made, I don't want it to fall. Like, I just made dinner. We have some spinach with some onions and peppers and black beans. Mm-hmm. That's good. I need to slow down. I'm out of breath. It's so good. I'm usually a slow eater. Oh, and I made a fried egg. I'm usually a really slow eater, but I've been starving. All right, I gotta find a beat. Okay.
Let this serve as your friendly reminder that creative energy is healing energy.
You train me to shut up your mouth material things. Give me love and affection. Need your love and affection. Give me love and affection. Need your love and affection. Give me love and affection. Feeling trapped in one love and dismiss me. Dismiss me. Probably not. It's okay if you go back to the streets and you turn into a god. Do you miss me? I hope you do, but if you don't, it's okay, cause there's a million else to choose, and I don't wanna lose you, but I'll be letting go. I thought I'd always choose you, but you play me like a hoe. You treat me like your wife, you just treat me like a girl. Not like a friend, and not like a lover, not like the most important woman in the world. You motherfucker. You don't even know me.
Yeah, peep the yin and yang of the lyrics. Again, a little feelings and a little facts, baby.
Stand on all your actions, stand on all your words, all the bullshit, all the lies. To no surprise, you're no different than the other guys.
It's so unhealthy. It's so unhealthy not to acknowledge, you know, the uncomfortable feelings. It's so unhealthy not to acknowledge your anger or your sadness or whatever it is that you're feeling. It's not healthy. And it has been proven, especially with women, that when you don't honor those emotions, when you keep everything bottled in, it manifests as disease. So this whole love and light thing.
All right, y'all. She is definitely right. It does manifest as the disease. I agree with her. So I'm going to get into a few things right now that I made note of, right? And in ways that not speaking your truth and not expressing yourself can cause illnesses and illness. Bottling up your emotions, keeping all those feelings locked up can keep you in a constant stress mode, right? Messing with your immune system. This can make you more likely to catching colds and even more serious stuff like heart disease.
No. Maybe after, maybe after the fact, after you get it out, then you could be like love and light. But you have to have that polarity. You have to have that balance. Otherwise, how are you even looking at life as a whole if you're only looking at one aspect of it? If you're only looking at one way to exist, if you're only wanting to exist in a light that makes you seen, however, to a bunch of people that don't even know you. My prerogative is just to tell my story and to share my art and to speak the truth. I don't really care how people decide to deal with how they feel about him. I got no control over that. That the moment a man is mean to you, leave. Do not let him sit there and give you an excuse as to why he thinks it's okay to be mean to you. Leave. He is not a child learning emotions and how to exude them. He's a grown man. He's a grown man because it's going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. So leave. You've experienced people who know how to respond to their uncomfortable emotions with kindness. What was the last straw? Zero accountability was my last straw. Zero accountability. And when I broke up with him, here's the manipulative. Here's the manipulative shit that they be doing. I broke up with him because I was telling him everything that he was doing to me, his poor treatment, not an apology, not any accountability, he didn't even acknowledge it. He only acknowledged the things that were like easily defensible, like the things that he could easily defend, which was one thing. Everything else, act like it never happened. Let's just be friends. So I was like, no, I can't be friends with someone who sits there and treats me like shit and then acts like it doesn't happen. So how could we possibly be friends if you don't have any accountability? But I broke up with him, and then he was like, he made it seem like he wanted to make it work. No, damn well he didn't. He made it seem like he's like.
One thing about these men, they will friend you into the waiting area. It was like, I don't know if it was the lounge. They will have you sitting there in the friend zone, baby, after they've already proven to not care. You can't care about me on either level, honey. I appreciate her being like, no, we cannot be friends because we already know what the friendship was going to look like.
Oh, like, why didn't you wait until we were together in person to have this conversation? First of all, I know not to break up with someone in person, especially if the relationship is abusive. I know how that works. Not going to catch me in a foreign country with you having a breakup talk 1,000 miles away from my family. Are you insane? Are you smoking crack?
Gazelle. Listen, I don't even have too much to add here, y'all, but sis is right. Sis is right. It is a power trip too often used by narcs and abusers to want to have conversations in person for the sake of closure. No one needs closure that bad. I promise you don't need to be in front of a man face to face to have closure. I promise you don't. Just as you do not need an apology to have closure. There are way too many women right now unalive because they thought they needed closure because their abuser was like, meet up with me one more time.
That's super dangerous. But yeah, he made it seem like after I broke up with him that he actually wanted to work and take accountability. No, he just wanted the upper hand. So I'm thinking like, oh, like we can work through this. We can get through it. Like we can talk about it. 3 weeks pass. 3 weeks of me not eating, barely sleeping, stressed the fuck out. I literally lost 15 pounds in a month. Look, I'm already skinny. This is skinny. Okay, I got no body fat on me. And he just dragged it out. He dragged it out, drained whatever was left in me, dragged it out, knowing damn well he did not want to work on anything. He did not want to talk about anything. And so I kept asking him, like, when are we going to talk about this? When, like, how are we going to figure this out? What is going on? And then that's when he's like, you know what? We should just focus on ourselves. Like, bitch, I said that 3 weeks ago. And you made it seem like that wasn't what you wanted to do.
But they do that to feel like they have the upper hand. They do that to feel like I was the one who ended it because she was the one who was so wrong. And one thing that abusive people do, we all seen how Diddy was moving. One thing that they do is when they get accused of something, obviously they're going to deny it. That's like a given. Not only are they going to deny it, they're going to become so fucking kumbaya, like, I'm choosing peace. And there's this stigma that just because someone isn't retaliating or choosing to defend themselves, that they're just so regulated and so at peace. But what makes you a regulated human being is being able to take accountability for the shit that you do, but also not acting like a fucking saint. Because then to me, that is very avoidant. And avoidant people are not at peace. They are literally dissociating from reality, and that is not peace. Okay? That's not peace. They get super like godly and like, Jah, shut the fuck up. Where was God? Where was Jah when you were yelling at me? Where was Jah when you were lacking accountability? Oh, that's a bar. That's a bar.
That sums it up. So the question I'm asking you guys is Gazelle healing gracefully or not? Because I am personally loving it. I'm appreciating. I hope you guys are taking notes, because one thing's for sure is you can learn from somebody else's experience. You ain't got to go through that. And if you are going through it, then I hope it inspired you to cut the ties, go live your best life, and to not continue to be on this cycle over and over again with these men who are clearly not checking for you. So anyway, you guys, I am definitely about to go behind her paywall, and I'll be bringing you more tea on her healing, what she experienced, what she's going through. If you're interested, please like and subscribe, and I'll holler at you soon. Bye. Sis, if you're a DV victim or survivor and you are ready to take your healing to the next level, join my free 7-day meditation challenge. But don't wait. It's only free until my official launch on September the 28th. After that, replay will be available for a small fee. So sign up today and start your healing journey now. Until next time, love yourself, protect your energy, and deal with life bullshit with grace and gratitude. Love ya.